Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Recruiters with No Limits Live. Always scripted, never scripted, that's right, and always live. I've been saying that so much, John. I'm here with my sidekick, John Ruffini. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, Richard?
Not much, because I'm just so excited here. We're going to bring our guest on. Jan from across the pond, I'm going to say, from another country.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, guys, good to be here. Thanks so much for the invite.
Yeah. Oh, man, you're welcome. But before we even jump into things, I got a video. We're just going to throw this clip out there. Just going to get everybody pumped up of what's going to happen next week.
Excited.
Wow.
Outstanding.
If that doesn't pump you up, I don't know what will. I mean, that's
that does fire you up. That's pretty cool.
Oh my goodness. So much going on. But well, let's just jump into it. And the first thing I have to say, it's free. So sign up. It's free.
Yeah.
But
sure.
Jan, let's just deep dive into how did you start to create this big event that we call the kickoff of 2022?
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited that actually it will be the kickoff this time, really the kickoff of 2022. We started the staffing summit for the first time last year. So in 2022, when the pandemic hit, we, sat around with our team. We usually build software for staffing and recruiting companies. Everybody didn't know what was going to happen. And we said, hey, everybody's sitting at home. Everybody is bored. Everybody is maybe lonely, wants to meet other people. So why not put up a free virtual conference to bring the industry together? So the first World Staffing Summit was in January 21. And it was a great success. We had over 3,500 people that joined the event live and many more that basically consumed the on-demand content afterwards. And a lot of meetings happened at that day. So we saw on those charts that we had over 2,500 live meetings that happened throughout that day, and everybody was mingling and making new connections. And we said, hey, that's pretty cool, because we're not only creating good content for the industry, which basically helps everybody to grow and learn and grow their business, but also help to foster more connections in the industry and bring people together. So that was the goal, really. And for this time, we said, okay, why not make this event slightly bigger? Also because we received feedback last time that many other time zones and many other countries were not really involved. So we had a lot of involvement from the North American side at the first summit, but left out a few other countries. So we said, okay, we'll do the event larger, 5 days across a couple of continents, bring in everybody and try to make sure that this event is really a global summit and a world staffing summit, and try to bring in people from the industry together and basically create good content for everybody to learn and grow their business.
Pretty amazing that you do this. The wonderful thing about being virtual is you can be global, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining, hinging off last year's success, there's more of an awareness this year. When it came out this year, it wasn't like it was something new that no one knew what it was. We had seen it a little bit last year. So now it's like, oh, okay, here we go again. Is this something you hope to make a recurring annual event?
We'll try to do that. Yeah, we'll definitely experiment with a few things around potentially splitting it up next year in maybe different time zones across the year, and not just do one large event. But we'll definitely try to make this a recurrent happening every year, specifically in the beginning of the year, to get everybody back together and have a good start into the next 11 months or 12 months to make good business together.
That's outstanding.
Yeah. It is. And the networking is going to be nonstop. I mean, it's incredible. I'm just going to ask you, Jan, so how do you invite all these people, these keynote speakers and everything? I mean, is this day after day getting their email and reaching out to them on LinkedIn? Where does it begin?
So actually it started a little bit with my network. I started a staffing company with my co-founders in Austria in 2016. And when we decided to move our business to the US, I took a chance and took a flight to the first VMSA conference, which was in Phoenix, hosted by the VMSA guys. And there I met a lot of people that are still now good friends that join as panelists and masterclass hosts for this event. And obviously they bring their friends, and the staffing industry is very closely connected. So that's why we are able to also bring in this, very amazing crowd of speakers and panelists that support and create good content for everybody. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have how do you go about deciding, kind of putting the agenda together? There are amazing experts all around the world and people that could deliver content. How do you decide kind of who goes where and what you're going to choose as far as topics and the like?
Yeah. So basically, we for the first summit, we took a survey and said, okay, what's on top of mind for a staffing owner and operator that they want to learn and know, and that's how we decided the topics. So basically, we did it at the same time this year. We surveyed people that joined the last event. We surveyed our customers. We looked at topics that are relevant, and we try to make most of the panels and masterclasses really outcome driven, so you can actually listen in and make notes and then go home and basically try to implement the tactics and the stuff that you have learned throughout the summit in your business next day. So we try to make sure that all of the panels and masterclasses and the topics are really tailored to what's on top of mind for somebody that works in a staffing company or with staffing companies, and usually tailored also to the specific segment within the business, if it's operations or HR, or if it's the management and leadership and recruiters, to try to give everybody something to learn. So that's how we basically decided to how we put up the agenda and the structure.
I love that your mindset is actionable content. A lot of times you go to these summits or conferences or whatever, and people talk, but it's like, okay, that's good information. I can soak it in. What do I do with it? You're trying to get things that people can actually apply to their business and put into action to hopefully take them to another level.
Yeah, that's super important. We've seen it last year, and we've seen it also with other webinars that we've done. People really want also the presentations and PDFs of the speaker. So ideally, it's something where that they can either print out or put on their computer and do check marks. If they have learned something, they can make notes. And usually those topics are the most engaging also. So the speakers and people that are presenting really get a lot of questions, and there's Q&A going, and there is discussions going on. So we try to keep the very high level, conversations that are often just a blah blah type of thing to a minimum, and make sure that all of the people that present really come with something that the audience can take away and learn something from and implement in their own business the next day. Yeah.
So true. And I love the breakout sessions because I think it's so user friendly. When you can ask questions, you can talk between each other. I mean, it's very informational.
Yeah, the cool thing is, and that's what I'm super excited about this year, is basically we have, I think until today, it's a little bit more than 8,000 people that registered for the event.
Wow.
So there probably will be a little bit more. Obviously, not everybody will join at the same time, all the sessions. But the cool thing is that throughout 5 days, you have access to the platform. You can open your own roundtables. You can join roundtables. You can chat with people one-on-one. You can do basically speed dating meetings. So you click a button and you're connected with somebody else that is also live, and just have a 1 minute conversation. Or if you don't feel like talking, you just skip to the next person. So there is a lot of opportunities really for people to just hang around, and obviously not all day if they're working, or if they want to just join in their break, or if they want to just open the platform and listen into the talks like they would listen to a podcast. That's what we've seen last year. I think a lot of people did. They just had the platform open on their browser, while they were at work, and they were just listening into the conversations that were happening on that day. And that's super exciting. So I'm hoping that everybody who joins really uses the opportunity to network and meet with other people, do business together, and that should be a good outcome for everybody then. Yeah.
God, so many connections can be made. So 8,000 plus, that's more than double than you had last year.
Yeah. So that's really exciting. So we were really able to, get more and more people excited about the event, and also obviously extend across the border a little bit, and not only have the North American market, but also a few other markets and people that were joining from across the world. So yeah, we'll hope that even more people will join. Maybe what we've seen last year is that usually 2 or 3 days before the event, really even more people sign up, because then you kind of decide, okay, what's going to happen the next couple of days? What am I going to do? Okay, there's an event, I'm going to join it. Or at least I'm going to join a couple of sessions of that event. And that's where we see even more engagement coming in. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the next couple of days. Yeah.
I love how you drove the social messaging. Like you made it very easy for people like Richard and me to promote the event through our social channels by sending us kind of content. Hey, here, put this out on your social, this, that, and the other. You don't just leave it up to the people. You're kind of driving it, which I think has to increase awareness and engagement and get through multiple channels, as opposed to leaving it up for folks, just you promoting it and hoping that other people will promote it. I've seen a lot, especially on LinkedIn. I've seen a lot this week of the promotion of the event from people who are going to be attending and participating, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think 90% of LinkedIn is all about the World Staffing Summit this week, right, John?
Totally.
That's all you see. One thing I got to praise you on, Jan, is the attendee spotlight. I love that they're not speaking, but they're still getting themselves in the spotlight. How did you come up with that?
That's a genius idea of one of the main brains behind the summit, which is Jacob. He's basically single-handedly running the World Staffing Summit. He started as an intern internally for us, and he's now the head of growth for the company, and he's great. So that was his idea, and it's working really well, because we've seen that for a lot of the conferences, you don't really know who is attending. So you're kind of guessing, you kind of maybe messaging with other people and seeing who else is joining. We try to give you an opportunity to say, hey, I'm joining this event. And then other people can go through a list and see, hey, who else is there? Who can I already maybe ping before the event to prepare for a meeting, and basically get you prepared. And you have a little bit more of an outcome while you're at the event, and you can save a little bit of a time ahead to make sure that you know exactly who to contact, who to get in touch with, if there's a specific person that you want to meet. And obviously you can promote that. And then again, that's another idea that Jacob had, which is the click to share links that we have, which is basically super easy for you to just click and promote the event yourself without the need to create your own graphics or create another post or think about it. You just click, share it, and then obviously through the networks of other speakers and panelists and attendees, the word spreads, and that's how we basically promote the event.
So tell us a little bit about Candidately, because obviously this is powered by Candidately, and there's a lot of buzz in the industry about it. What can you share about it?
Sure. So Candidately is a new product that we have launched last year. We call it the digital storefront for staffing and recruiting companies. So that's maybe a more fancy word to say that it's actually a client portal, more an industry term that staffing and recruiting companies can use to present their candidates in a more digital format to their customers. So typically there are two use cases, right? One is you are an account manager or recruiter, and you have a customer and you're working on a job, and you want to present your short list of candidates to this particular customer. Typically what you would do is, put a write up in an email, attach resumes, send it over to the customer, and wait. You wait for feedback. You want to get quick feedback to see, put the candidates through the pipeline and get them placed. This usually takes quite a long of time, because often the conversation is lost in the email thread. The customer doesn't know where the email was, if the resume was attached, and so on. So improving this entire process of candidate presentation is really the goal for Candidately. So we give you essentially a very easy way to connect Candidately to your ATS, like for example, Bullhorn. If you have candidates that you want to present, you just import them with a click of a button and share a link to your customer that has all of the candidates in there. They can view it on their phone, they can view it on their computer, they can give you a quick feedback on each candidate by just pressing a button to schedule an interview or decline the candidate. And that way, it basically gives you 30 to 40% faster response times, which obviously means more placements for the staffing firm. So Candidately is a very super easy product and can essentially be used by any recruiter or account manager or staffing company that is really presenting candidates on a day-to-day basis to their customers and wants to upgrade this process to a more digital format.
So does the recruiter, in effect, build their presentation in their ATS, and then the link that you send the client is linking to that presentation that they built in the ATS.
Correct. Yeah, and you even send it right outside of the ATS. So in the case with Bullhorn, if you're a Bullhorn customer, Bullhorn user, you would find Candidly essentially fully embedded within Bullhorn and create that presentation, press a button and share your presentation like you would share access to a Google Drive or a Dropbox folder. So your customer gets a branded email, they press a button and immediately get access to your candidates without the need for a sign up, login, or anything like that. So you don't have to explain to your customer that that's a new product. You just send them basically a notification and they press a button and can access your candidates. And the cool thing is that you have immediately insights. So you know exactly, okay, my customer has opened this candidate, has viewed it for 3 minutes, has forwarded to somebody else within the organization.
Great
so you
data.
have all of those great data that you don't have today to basically make better decisions. So what we've seen from existing customers that are using it, and they really range from individual recruiters to nationwide staffing companies that are implementing the product. Really 30 to 40% faster feedback, and then obviously on scale, that means that your placements rates goes up, but also what goes up is the wow effect for your customers, right? Instead of being a staffing company that sends resumes attached to emails, you suddenly have a much better way to present both your candidates but also your brand in a more digital way. And that's also one of the main things that we try to bring across the entire staffing summit, right? That digitalization in staffing, what's going to happen over the next couple of years, how can staffing companies differentiate themselves, obviously not only with Candidly but with other tools and other automations to make that business more effective and ultimately get more people to work.
I love how our industry evolves. It's like you always wonder, okay, what's next? How is it going to change? And there's some things about the way that we do the business that never change, but there's always adapting to new technologies and new methods and new processes. And I love when products like this come out because it's like, okay, here's someone who took an existing process and said, how can we make it better? How can we make it easier? How can we make it more efficient?
Correct.
And then rolled it out. So it's great that it's being met with success.
We're excited about it, and we are super pumped to work with more and more customers to get more feedback and release new features almost every week to make sure that the product gets better. But so far, the feedback has been really well received. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to come this year.
Go ahead, Richard.
I'm sorry. What's amazing real quick is everybody's in the loop on this. It's communication. So there's no dropping the ball on anybody, which is great.
Yeah.
Totally. If I'm not a Bullhorn user, but I've got a different ATS, can you interface and access others pretty seamlessly?
Absolutely, yeah. So today, if you don't have Bullhorn and you maybe also don't have an ATS, you can also use Candidly as a standalone product, not connected to an ATS. And we do have currently on the roadmap an open API integrations with other ATSs planned. So if you're not a Bullhorn user, but you have another ATS, you'll for sure at some point be able to have a very similar and integrated experience with Candidly. Yeah, for sure. That's
awesome. Looking at your background, Jen, you've been quite the entrepreneur throughout your career. A lot of it has evolved around the staffing and recruiting industry. Is that something you always knew you wanted to go toward, and what drew you to that industry?
Yeah, it's it's like everybody somehow stumbles into the staffing industry.
True.
When I speak to them, yeah, it's no, and for us, it was really. At the point when we decided to start our company back here in Austria, before we moved to the US, we started a more modern staffing business. So basically, we were working all in events and hospitality and logistics, and saw, okay, the staffing process is really broken in some of those segments. Getting candidates in takes a very long time. The staffing companies in that segment are not really don't really have a lot of automation or a lot of technology. And we thought, okay, what can we do to basically build a more modern and more efficient staffing business? And that's what we've done for roughly 1.5 years before we said, okay, wow, there's actually a much bigger opportunity to build technology for the industry versus just being our own staffing company. So at that point, we decided to essentially transform the business, and we were lucky to be accepted to a startup accelerator in California. I got investments from Silicon Valley VCs and started building technology, and ultimately that led us to become, with a few other products that we have, a Bullhorn Marketplace partner, and that's how we essentially got into that industry, got to know the ins and outs, and ended up here. Yeah.
That's awesome. Follow your passion, that's for sure.
I love it.
We're definitely very very passionate about it, and working to make sure that everybody has a good, better, efficient process. Yeah.
So when we talk next year, there'll be more technology, more new stuff that you created.
Let's see. We are very focused. We are very focused on Candidly now, but the team has for sure a lot of more ideas that we can do. So we'll see what's going to happen.
We've got a question from Carrie. Carrie wants to know, how long has the product been in use?
So we launched it with the very first customers in April last year, and so far the customer base that is using it today for the last 6-7 months or so, it's in use. Some customers are still with us, so they are super happy. Some that did not have an integration decided to put us on hold because an integration is needed for that product, and that's why we're also very focused on customers that are using Bullhorn at the moment. So we see great success with that customer base, and if somebody's interested to learn more, just feel free to reach out, and we'll be happy to support.
Pretty good customer base to be aligned with. Bullhorn's got a big share of the market. They've got a great product, so I know a lot of companies use their product, so that's cool.
Yeah, we're excited to be a partner with them. Yeah.
General question. You've seen both sides of the world, so to speak. Okay, you're in Austria. You spent time in the U.S. What are some similarities and some differences that you notice about the whole staffing climate? Here, what we see stateside is, we see unemployment going down, but we see the number of jobless still very high, and talent in short supply, high demand. What types of trends are you seeing over in Europe?
So I think there's different segments, but what I can definitely spot, and that's also a little bit from my perspective on moving from being a staffing company and then selling to the staffing industry with technology. In the US, for sure, everything moves 10 times faster than in Europe in terms of conversations, in terms of innovation, in terms of where the market is going. The market in the US specifically is much more likely to adopt new products like Candidly, and also listen to potential new ideas, brainstorm, and basically be very open to try new things. While I think in Europe, and specifically in the German and Switzerland and Austrian markets, at least to me, it feels that the industry here is slightly behind or slightly slower to adopt new products and new processes. So I feel like that, obviously in that regards, the industry in the US is more favorable, obviously, to companies like us, to make sure that we are able to innovate as well, and also be more fast paced in terms of what we are doing now.
Very interesting, indeed.
It is, man. Yeah. Tell you what, cutting edge stuff. I got to ask you one more question, Jan, about the old summit here. What the awards? I mean, these are everybody's talking about these awards that are coming out. So can you tell us a little bit about this? I mean, the top 100 people in the world, and everybody's excited to be nominated. It's exciting times. So
sure. Yeah, so we feel like in the staffing industry overall, there is only very little recognition going on, and to the people that are doing the business. So we felt like we have to bring in something that will put the spotlight on people that are doing the hard work every day, and the companies that are doing the hard work every day. So we put up a form online, and people were able to nominate their favorite staffing leaders, but also their favorite staffing companies to work for. And that's how we came up with the list of people that are currently in the voting process. Basically, people can now vote for their favorite staffing leaders to watch for 2022, but also for the best staffing companies to work for 2022. And that includes obviously both the internal employees, but also outside stakeholders that deem a staffing company innovative or worth looking at. So we want to make sure that people that are working in that industry get a spotlight, and we'll also, and that's something that actually I'm here on this thing, I'm announcing for the first time, the Monday at the World Staffing Summit will be the World Staffing Day officially. So we try to establish a World Staffing Day that will be basically putting a spotlight on the industry. So we'll have a press release and announce that, and hope that it's obviously not an official day, but there are some sites where you can put up that name, so to say, and we try to establish that so people in the industry get some more recognition. The Monday, January 24th, is hopefully from now on the World Staffing Day.
That's awesome. Hey, Jan, just to let you know, in 5 minutes, I'll be posting that. So it's all good now. It's official. In my eyes, it's official, brother.
I love that. I love the focus. It seems more and more globally, there's more focus and a spotlight on the staffing and recruiting industry than ever before. As long as I've been in the industry, I've never seen so much focus. And it's such a critical time. I mean, companies, it seems, they're partnering with recruiters and staffing firms more and more because they can't seem to find the talent on their own. And it's a great time to be in the industry in whatever capacity you're in. And it's a great time to show the value of what the industry can deliver, both to job seekers and to companies.
Absolutely. And, over the last years, also when we started, there was a lot of talk around the recruiter-less or staffing agency-less world. Everybody's building automations and AI, and what's going to happen in that market? Will the recruiter be still around? And I say for sure yes. I think it's never been a better time, because as a recruiter or a person that is working in the industry, you just get more technology around you to make your day-to-day better and more efficient. But the business is still a people business, so you will not be able to replace some of those interactions, and it's just going to be more critical. And I see it with other industries as well, specifically in real estate and other markets, where you also had the talks about replacing real estate agents, and you've seen a different direction going with companies like Compass and others in the market that are proving that wrong. So I think in the staffing industry, that's exactly the same trajectory. You'll see more and more technology coming, but the technology will not replace the recruiter. It will basically empower that person to make their job better and more efficient, and still keep that human touch. So I'm very excited to be in the industry and see what's going to happen over the next couple of years.
They always talk about getting rid of us, but they can't.
Never.
And you hit the nail on the head. I mean, use technology to complement your business, and where it makes sense to automate. But at the end of the day, to your point, Jan, it's a people business, and there's still got to be that to build the relationships. There's still got to be that human interaction. However, we're in an age where you can use technology to automate some functions that free you up to do other functions that the recruiter themselves should be doing.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
That's awesome.
John, I don't love it. Personal relationship.
You are so right, Carey.
Yeah.
John, any final thoughts, my man?
It's been great talking with you, Jan, and I'm looking forward to the summit next week. Just excited about how our industry is evolving, and I love the spotlight that you guys are putting on it with the summit next week and beyond. So good luck to you with Candidate.ly and with the summit, and thanks for all you're doing for the industry.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, Richard, for having me. I'm very excited to be able to be on your show, and I'm excited to come back. And hope to, obviously, I'll see you on at your session on Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody else there as well. Exactly.
And I just want to tell everybody, if you didn't sign up yet, look at this. You get yourself a nice picture like this.
Fantastic.
You could have put yourself up there, Richard. Come on now.
Oh, you know what, John? I did. There I am. Right?
Perfect.
The shark is everywhere. But no, I want to thank you, Jan, so much from the bottom of my heart. What you are is what the industry is about. You care about it. You're bringing everybody together from across the country. I can't wait to meet everybody next week. I'll have 1 million more LinkedIn friends, and that's what it's all about. We all work together. So I want to thank you. Everybody, next week, this is where you got to be. Take off work, and there's what you got to be. Bottom line.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for supporting, guys.
You bet.
Anytime.
Take care.
Hey, we'll see you all next week at the World Staffing Summit.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care.